Greetings folks, and I hope you're all happy and healthy out there in collecting land, and welcome back to the channel for another Eaglemoss ship unboxing and review. And today is the turn of the Rocinante from the epic TV show The Expanse, which first aired in 2015 and ran for 6 seasons. Usual format folks, box, ship and then showcase at the end. But before we dive in, I would like to say a massive thank you to everyone who supported Go Figure, and please drop a like on this review and help other people find the channel. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you'll be sure not to miss any of the action figure and collectible goodness we've got coming up. And trust me, there's a hell of a lot of it. So, The Expanse, I will keep this brief as I could bang on all night about how good this show is. I won't even attempt to cover the plot as it is just huge, but suffice it to say, if you are a science fiction fan or you're just a fan of quality TV shows, you absolutely must see The Expanse. In my humble opinion, it is some of the best science fiction in the past 20 years. And we absolutely we demand a season 7. So, the Rossi, it's the main ship in the show. It's a Martian Corvette acquired by James Holden and his disparate crew as they navigate a universe of war, revolution, love, death and alien tech. But enough of my Expanse ramblings. Onto the box. Let's stop it from spinning and have a quick look at it. It's in keeping with Eaglemoss boxes. It's this high quality cardstock box with a magnetic clasp. On the front here you've got a picture of the miniature itself. In the top left hand corner it says The Expanse, the official ship collection, because there are more in this line. Possibly they may arrive and go up for review, who knows. Bottom left hand corner it says Rocinante, and then there's the emblem there that they paint on the side of the ship. In the bottom right hand corner you have got Hero Collectors. You've also got Prime Video here, and Prime actually picked up the show. I believe it was on the Sci Fi channel originally and they dropped it, but it was picked up by Prime for the rest of the seasons. But yeah, and I believe the last season was actually a crowdfunded one. But yeah, that's enough of my ramblings. We'll continue with the box. Yes, so around this side you've got another picture of the Rossi. It says The Expanse, Rocinante at the bottom there. Pretty much the same on this side, only it's an overhead shot of the ship. And I don't know whether the light's catching this, but in the background on the front cover here you've got this sort of outline drawing in grayscale of the ship from different angles, and that's continued on all the sides and on the bottom and the top as well. And on the bottom it just says Expanse, Rocinante again. Same thing going on the top with that overhead shot. And on the back you've got The Expanse, the official ship collection, and the usual warnings and credits down at the bottom here. Don't piss this ship off or you might get a belt from a belter. So that's it folks, that's the box. The eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that the seals are still intact on this. This is a brand new miniature, just come through the door, gone straight in front of the camera. So we will do as we always do, we will crack those seals, get the Rossi out of the box and find out what she's all about. Okay folks, so here she is. It's the Rossi herself, straight out of the box, straight onto the stand and straight onto the turntable. First impressions, very good, I have to say. A lot better than the Sulaco that we from Aliens that we recently reviewed on the channel, with its slightly iffy coloration. But it looks like Eaglemoss have nailed the colours here. They are absolutely on point with that silver, that metallic grey, that black, and those hints of red, and even some hints of blue in there as well. So yeah, paint applications look really good. The proportions are absolutely spot on. It's really nice to see that they've got her cannons out, so to speak. Yeah, overall an excellent first impression, but we shall do as we always do. Let's stop her from spinning and have a close-up look here. Also worth mentioning at this point as well, on the inside of the top of the box itself there's a really nice description of the history of the Rossi as well, being part of the Martian Navy prior to being commandeered by Mr. Holden and his crew. But yeah, let's get her off this stand. Well, actually we'll take a look at the stand first. Just pop the Rossi at the back here and take a quick look at the stand. It's the usual Eaglemoss stand. We've sort of seen this on numerous occasions with this. We'll just take take this section out. It's this solid metal base, which is really nice to see, this oval. It gives it some weight, so hopefully we'll keep the ship that you've got secured on there relatively safe and no slipping and sliding, because there's a felt pad on the bottom, and you've got a little grey sticker there, which you normally see on the bottom of Eaglemoss products, and it just says the Rocinante. So yeah, that's your stand, and it comes with the usual Perspex clear plastic. Well, I think it might actually be Perspex sort of holder section, which slots into there, and yeah, just simply sits in the base itself like that. Usual bubble there. I'm seeing this more and more often. I don't know whether these are actually imperfections in the manufacturing process or whether these are intentional, but that little bubble's there. I'm gaining an eye for it now, having seen it so often. But yeah, so that's the base, relatively simple. So we'll pop that to one side, and we'll pop the turntable to one side so we can get the Rossi right into shot and have a close-up look at the details here. We'll start at the stern and work our way up. Now, what you're looking at here is a combination of plastic and metal. Not as much metal, I feel, as maybe, let's say, the Sulaco or the Nostromo. But yeah, there is metal in here, and I'm going on temperature more than weight, because it feels like there's sort of metal on the bottom and plastic on the top. The weight distribution on this is odd, because that normally gives away which sections are die cast and which sections are plastic, but I'm not getting that here. The nacelle at the end here with the one big engine, that is definitely plastic. You can tell by the noise it makes. Whereas I believe these sort of coverings at the further down the engine are actually metal. They feel cold to the touch, as does this section underneath here. That feels cold to the touch. Whereas I think the rest of the body, perhaps this section at the top, yeah, I believe these two, well, that's plastic. That could be plastic as well, actually. I think it might just be this section at the back. But yeah, there is some die cast in there. Yeah, this is actually the XL version as well. Now, I'm not 100% certain whether Eaglemoss did a standard version of the Rossi, but this comes under the XL banner, as did the Nostromo and the Sulaco. If there is a standard version out there, it's going to be quite small, but this is a relatively chunky chap in the Eaglemoss directory of ships. So let's have a look at the details. Mentioned the paint applications there, and the other thing that struck me first about this particular piece is the paint applications. You've got these silver sections along the side here, which are really nicely done. The sculpt itself has managed to get that sort of mosaic effect going on in certain sections of the ship, and it's more prominent sort of on the top here, on these silver sections at the bow now, and underneath as well. You're seeing those that sort of mosaic patterning, which is really nice and really screen accurate. It's almost like a brickwork effect. But having revisited the TV show recently, it is absolutely on point and screen accurate, that, and then there are certain smooth portions or portions where it's less defined, shall we say. But yeah, silver paint applications are really nice, as are these red flashes, which you see all over. You see them underneath here. These red flashes actually are repeated on the cannon emplacements on the bottom here. Now, these cannons are fully out. It's in full combat mode, but they don't slot away. But these would, as viewers of the TV show would know, that these actually go back into the body of the ship, and these hatches close at the top. But the detailing here is really, really nice, and the paint application is on point. You've got Rocinante there on at the front of the ship on the hull. It says Rocinante on the bottom as well. I'll just flip this around so you can see that. And it's the level of detail. This particular panel here as well, this caught my eye. Just the paint applications on that one panel there. This is slightly darker grey rather than the black that the rest of the ship is, which makes it stand out. It seems almost a shame to display this this way around, because there's so much detail on the underside here. You've got red paint applications. That same mosaic is continued through there. You've got the blue paint applications on the array at the front of the ship. Now, this array, this is definitely plastic, and as you can see there's some give, so I would say exercise caution with this. You don't want it falling off the stand and falling nose first. These could quite easily snap off. They are relatively delicate, so yeah, exercise caution there. But overall, yeah, I think the detailing here really is spot on. I think they've nailed it here. And overall, the Rossi was, as were most of the ships in the TV show, were not like, how can I put this? I'm going to refer to Battlestar Galactica more than once in this review, but they weren't super stylized. They were more utilitarian. You actually looked at these ships, or at least I looked at these ships, and I thought these looked like they could function. That they weren't designed to be super sleek and super fancy. They looked like they worked in space, and that was one of the strengths, I think, of the Expanse. And probably the second reference to Battlestar Galactica as well would be the actual space battles themselves, which were filmed in such a way it was a unique way of doing it. As I said, the only thing I've seen similar to that was the updated TV show Battlestar Galactica. But yeah, a lot of these colours were lost on screen, unfortunately, although these are right. Some of them were lost because of just simply because of being shot in space. But overall, I think Eaglemoss have done a really good job here, down to the nacelle at the back there and the interior of it, the full details in there if the light's catching that. The paint applications on point, the sculpting really nice, level of detail, it's just all there. It's absolutely nailed on, and I think they've really captured the iconic look of this ship from what is, after all, a fantastic landmark TV show. So let's get him back on the stand here. Let's get him back on the stand and go in for final thoughts on this piece from Eaglemoss. I think you know where this is going. I am a super huge fan of Expanse, and I am now going to be a super huge fan of this particular model. I think this is Eaglemoss doing what they do best here. They've got everything on point. The scale is right, paint applications are right, the sculpt is nailed on. The detailing there, in particular, some of the smaller details are absolutely phenomenal, and I really am impressed with this piece. I've started scoring Eaglemoss Moss ships, which I didn't do with the first one, but we are going to do with this one. I'm going to give this a 9. I think possibly the only thing that maybe lets this down are these gun emplacements. The cannons themselves could be a little bit more detailed, and perhaps a little bit more weathering. Maybe some more weathering around the nacelle section at the end there, although that there's some nice contrast in the paint applications on the engine there, because it's this sort of, it's almost got a bluey grey tinge to it, where the rest of it is black, silver and red. It's got this sort of metallic grey feel to it, but I think it could have done with some weathering at the end there, and possibly on the inside as well. But that's a minor gripe, so we're going to go with a 9 out of 10 for this one. So there you have it, folks. That's Eaglemoss's take on the Rocinante from the Expanse, and it's going to walk away with a 9. So what are your thoughts on this piece? Do you have this in your collection? What are your thoughts on the Expanse, on the TV show? Nothing is off menu. Please drop a comment in the comment section below. I would be fascinated to hear your take on this. And before we zip over to the showcase, just a quick rundown of what's coming up on the channel. We have more Eaglemoss coming up. I'm not going to give away what those pieces are going to be, but yeah, we'll be having plenty more Eaglemoss. In the 1/6 scale action figure world, we will be having stuff from Pure Arts, from InArt, from Hot Toys, Susu Toys, Mars Toys, Present Toys, the list goes on. We've also got quarter scale statues and action figures coming up on the channel, and more episodes of Don't Make Me Choose, where I pit 2 action figures or collectibles against each other and see which one wins. And more episodes of Grail or Fail, where we take a look at 1/6 scale action figures that are considered to be grails, and try and find out if that grail status is still applicable today. So yeah, we've got retro reviews, new reviews, a shed load of stuff coming up on the channel. So as I mentioned at the top there, please hit that subscribe button and mash that bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the good stuff that comes on the channel. And I suppose all it remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching. From me, from the Rossi, take care of yourselves, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.